Welcome once again to the Boundary Systems Wednesday webinar. We will be presenting Managing Microsoft Office Documents in Windchill. My name is Michael Wimberly, and I will be doing the webinar. So once again, with this, we're going to go through and do, of course, a brief introduction of myself and Boundary Systems, just give a basic overview of uh, uh, desktop integration, which is what we're going to use to manage Microsoft documents, and then of course do a demonstration of that overall. So once again, as myself, I am Michael Wimberly. I'm a technical specialist here at Boundary Systems. I've been working with PTC products for over 25 years now. I've been training on PTC products for over 20 years now. I am a certified trainer with Creo and Windchill classes, as well as a certified implementation specialist with Windchill as well. Boundary Systems as a whole. First off, we consider ourselves a technology leader. We have partnerships with PTC, Solid Thinking, eTraj, Autodesk, and additional technology companies that allow us to stay on the cutting edge of what's going on in the industries, as well as softwares, to make sure we give you all the best value for what you're looking for. We've been the 16th fastest growing private company in the greater Cleveland area. We are also now a part of the PDSVISION group, which gives us an even larger global presence because they are a global company as well. And our overall capabilities is product lifecycle management, data management, CAD design and consulting, simulation, and product development. Also, just as a quick note for Boundary Systems, we are headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio. Just not far from the airport. And I myself am actually out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We do actually have representation across the country. And as I just mentioned a moment ago, we also have a global presence as well. All right, so with Boundary Systems, our overall mission is to have the most technical expertise on PC products of any company in the world. We have many technical specialists in our company, each of us specializing in different areas of the software. So that gives us the expertise that we need. But with that, we also want to understand the needs of our customers. With the needs of our customers, now we can have the appropriate technical specialists assigned to your account, working with you on your account to recommend the appropriate solution to your product. With that, I'm sorry, to your situation. With that, we do guarantee success on every solution because we're not just trying to sell you things just to sell you something. We want to sell you something, whether it be software, whether it be services, whatever it may be, training, that will enhance your capabilities. So we want to make sure that whatever we're giving you is helping you to improve what you're already doing, which is the last point, which will help you to overall decrease costs, also decrease time to market, and the overall thing is also to increase the overall quality of your products. So we do work with you directly to make sure that we understand what you need and how to apply it to what you're actually working on within your company to give you the best fit and the best solution to whatever the situation is that you need to work with. All right, here you have just some of our, once again, software solutions. So of course we sell this suite of PTC softwares. We also have Tecton, Modex, Xformation, eTraj, ITI, ZWCAD, Keyshots, Symmetrics, and of course Symmetrics. With those, we have mode flow simulation. We have license monitoring software. We also have ZWCAD, which is an alternative to AutoCAD, but much cheaper, but the same functionality as AutoCAD. ITI helps with the solutions to connect softwares that may not normally talk to each other. And then Keyshot for rendering. So all those things, all these different pieces of software and additional ones that aren't listed here help us to become that technology leader that we strive to be for everyone. So just for general information, for my information, you can contact me directly through email at mwimberly@boundarysys.com. For any technical related questions, for any sales related questions, you can contact our sales at boundarysys.com. Also visit our Boundary Systems website for solutions on other software or just what we have going on as well. And then always you can find any of our webinars that we've done on our YouTube channel. So if you go into YouTube and search for Boundary Systems, you'll find our page, and in there will be the webinars that we've done over the last several years. So you will see them all posted there. And of course, this one we posted to that site as well. All right, so the first thing is just simply reviewing the information. So we're going to go through and review just what the benefits are of Microsoft Office documents in Windchill, and then of course do the actual demonstration of it. All right, so the first thing with Windchill, the benefit of this is we're not looking at just Microsoft products being standalone and we're just opening them up directly from a hard drive. Windchill will actually be integrated into Microsoft products such as Word, Excel, that we can go through, PowerPoint, that we can go through and actually access directly through Windchill, through those products, browse into the software just like as though we were inside of Creo. So we can browse directly inside of or search within the database to go in and find the files that we want and open them up in those specific products. We can go through and create files from uploaded templates. So when we are starting something from scratch, instead of just doing a simple save as on a file, we can upload templates. So we can go through and create multiple document types, and none of those document types actually go through and create templates that are directly associated with those, so it gives us those blank slates that we want. And we'll look at that as well. And of course, we can download and open directly from Windchill, as I mentioned just a moment ago. Because of the direct integration with the actual Microsoft products, we can go directly through them to actually go through and access the files. Of course, because they're in Windchill, then the version, revision, and life cycles also allow us to control those. So just like we can with any of our other files, CAD files that we put inside the database, we can go through and now take them through their life cycles. So we can go from, an in-work document all the way to a document that's released or published or at production, whatever that life cycle state is that we want. And of course, maintain the revisions of those, which allows us to go through and also maintain the history of those files. So instead of going in and overriding every file that may be on a shared drive somewhere, as we check it in, it goes in and creates a new iteration of that, where now we have, iteration 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we want to go back to a previous iteration of that or a previous revision of that, we can go through and find those older iterations of the files. So we have the history of those files inside of Windchill as well. All right, so at this point, I'll go ahead and begin the demonstration. All right, so the first thing is, once again, inside of Windchill, as we just mentioned a moment ago, we can go through and store any type of file. So I'm going to go in to one of my current products, into the actual folders, and I actually have a documents folder inside of here. In here, of course, I have some simple documents. There's just a simple format in there, and there's a simple document that I've created. As we can see, it does recognize this as an actual Word document. Now, currently, if I want to go through and change this, I can go through and select on it, and it's actually going to simply download it just like it normally would. So without the desktop integration, which we'll get into in just a moment, to go through and manipulate this file, I will go through and simply save it, and then I can go in and open it just like I could any other file if I was working inside of just a Windows browser. So there's the file. I will go in and add new text. This is new text. Save it. Now with this, to go through and upload this, I would need to come over here now, take this file, and I can do check it out. So once again, I have control of it, check out and download, which I could have done as well as check out and edit. But all I did was download that. So I don't really have any control of the file right now. So what I'm going to do, because I do have a newer version of that file, I'm going to do our check out and edit, which is going to allow me to go through and upload the newer version of that file. So that file is currently checked out. You can see that in the background. And then what I'm simply going to do is go in and upload a new file. So once again, the file there, I'm going to browse for it. And to the download it to my downloads. And I need my listing. I don't know why it went to there. There's my test document. Upload it. Once again, if I had any additional, I do like this as well because I can go through and add attachments to it as well. But I digress on that. And then just simply check it in. I can have any comments that I wanted. Just add it. Additional line. Done. So now that file is checked out. Now it's at version 2. So what I'm doing there is I'm simply just downloading the content, editing the content, and simply uploading it. So currently there's no connection between my uh, Office documents and my Word documents. I'm sorry, my Windchill. Um, with that, I can go through now and begin to connect the two. Now to do that inside of Windchill, underneath your quick links under software downloads, if you have desktop integration, you will see that up here at the top. I'm going to come over here and select, of course, for the 64-bit. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a save as. That way I can just put this file where I want to, and I'm going to put it directly underneath my PTC directory. And of course, I can change the initial name of it just so I'm aware of it, but I'll just leave it as it is. Save that file. It finished downloading it. I can open the folder or just go ahead and tell it to run it. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and set up my desktop integration. Next. I'm not sure. I thought I removed everything. My apologies. Sorry about this. I thought I removed the connection from that already. All right, so let's try that again. Now I'm going to go once again to my PTC folder. And under PTC, there is the software. I'm going to go ahead and select on that to install it. There's the directory. Now, this is where we can go through and specify what's actually being integrated into, or Windchill is being integrated to. So you can see it can go to Outlook, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Now for this, it wants to know where the Windchill is that it's going to connect to. So I'm going to come up here and copy this address directly into here. And then I'm going to give it a name being Boundary Windchill. And then go ahead and do the installation. Yes, to go ahead and change my settings. Just take it a few seconds to finish it up. All right, it's now complete. So now I'm going to go ahead and just open Word directly. So inside of Word, I'm just going to go and start a new file. There is a Windchill tab. Because I've gone through and set up the actual server, the server is going to be listed inside of here. If I want to go through and look at the configuration of that, I can go to configuration. It goes and shows me the path and everything inside of there that is associated with that. So I'm going to go ahead and select on that Windchill server. And of course, because I am connecting to Windchill, it does require me, of course, to link up to it. Now, when it does this, because it's using desktop integration, it's now going to change the type of file that is being downloaded from Windchill. So instead of it being just a regular Word document or Excel file, it's going to be a desktop integration file, which can be opened directly inside of course, the Microsoft products. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept that, and there's the information. So now at this point, there is Windchill, there's the go in and create new file, there's the open up an existing file. Because I don't have everything open, of course, there's nothing for it to go through and download. So I'm gonna go ahead and select open, go to my open directory. Now, right now, I am going into my Windchill. So I'm gonna go into the products. I'm gonna go into that same file that I was looking at before. Open that up. All right, now it tells me this text document already exists and the document you're downloading is different version. So basically I downloaded the file initially. It's telling me that my local version of this file is 1.1. I have a 1.2 coming from the server. Do I want to override it? Yes, I do. So now when you open it, you can see that second line of text. Now it's also asking me at this point, do I want to check out this document? Am I going to go through and make changes to this so that I'm going to go in and upload? So for this, I'm going to go ahead and say yes to check out this document. So now I have complete control over this document. And when I look back into Windchill, into my documents folder, I can now see that this file is now checked out. All right, so then I'll go in and add more. This is additional text for, oops, for this document. And now at that point, of course, I can do my regular save. That's just like doing a save inside of Creo. I'm just saving that locally. I haven't uploaded it or put it into the database yet. When I go to my Windchill tab, there I can see all the options inside of there. I have the ability of doing update, just like we do inside of Creo. So let's just say I did make some changes in this and decided I didn't want any of the changes. I want to revert back to my original one that was from the database. So I can go through and say update latest, or I can go in and say revert to server copy. So I'm going to go ahead and say revert to server copy, which is now going to go in and override this file. And now I'm back to that same version that was on the server. So now I can go through and edit it again to go in and now change my edits. This is more new text. Once again, save it locally, or once again, go in here. Now I want to go through and take this file. Once again, I have the ability to promote it. I can look at the properties of the file. I can edit the attributes of that file, whatever I need to go in and do. I'm going to go in and do the check-in. So I'm going to select it and do the check-in of this file. Once again, there's a desktop integration coming through. Added another line of text. And then once again, next. Anything else I want to do? Now, this is the other piece that I like about this with desktop integration. So I can go ahead and keep this checked out, or that file that I just downloaded so that I don't use that anymore, I can send that file that I just downloaded to the recycling bin. So that way in that directory, that file no longer exists. So I don't kind of cheat myself to go to that file and make edits to it anyway. It will basically force me to go into Windchill and download that file again. And then I can also, of course, keep it open if I was doing something else. I want to go through and now remove this. Now I will show you there is a path where those files are actually located. So, and you can set up where the path is, but mine is under my documents. There's a boundary Windchill under product, then underneath my demo product under document, there's that test document that we currently have. So that is now the file that is downloaded to my local workstation. Now, when I go ahead and say send that file to recycling bin, it's going to go in, check everything in, and I don't know why I didn't. I should have closed it. It's always something. If I go back to here and refresh, it didn't check in. Some reason it did not check in properly. It did check in. I don't know why it's still. My apologies, not sure why it is not showing it appropriately. If I come back here and refresh this, it does show it checked in. So now I'm at version 1.3 of that particular file. And not sure why it did not close out the document when it went in and checked it in. It also did not remove it from the directory it should have removed it from. But we'll double check that again on the next one that I do. So once again, not exactly sure, but we'll keep moving. All right. So once again, with that, we have complete integration of Windchill into Office. So I can go through manipulate it. Now we can open up files directly inside of Office, brand new from the hard drive, and create new documents on the server. I can also come in here if I want to go through and upload a bunch of documents and then be able to manipulate them. I can also do that. So I'm going to go in right quickly and just add a bunch of additional documents into Windchill. But by adding them into Windchill, I can then go through the appropriate software to edit them. So I'm going to go in and say I want to go in and create a new document, but I want to actually create multiple documents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a zip file that has a bunch of files in it that I want to go through and put inside of Windchill. So instead of doing them one at a time or a couple of them at a time, I can add a bunch of files to a zip file and then have Windchill actually um, uncompress that file and create the individual documents. So I'm going to go ahead and browse, and that file is actually on my desktop, and there's reference files. So there it is. Any check-in comments I want, any descriptions that I want, they will be going to my documents folder. Great. Once it's done, it takes each one of those files and creates an actual document of each one of those files that I've now gone through and uploaded. So in just a few moments, we'll see everything populated. In just a few more moments, we'll see it all populated. And then what we'll do is, of course, go in and open up one of these files directly from Office to go through and open it up. But what I'm also going to do is I also want to show you how to create a new document from a template file. So I'm going to go through and actually open up or create a template or show you the template that I've created and create a document from that. And I'm actually going to go through PowerPoint to do that one. All right, so now we can see all these documents have now been created. These are the documents that were in that zip file, and you can once again see each one of them. There's some PDFs, there's some PowerPoint files, there's Excel, there's Word. So there's many different types of files that I've just input into Windchill. So as you can see, it can harness any type of documents that you want. Once again, whether they're PDF or Office files themselves. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go ahead and go back into PowerPoint. Uh, and actually, I'm going to close PowerPoint. And yep, save that. Great. I'm going to go in and say, I just go into here. So you can see there's a Windchill for PowerPoint. So I can come over here. I'm going to go in and create a new file. And I can do this once again from a template. So I'm going to go to a template. Now, because I am connected to Windchill, right now I'm just simply telling it where. So this is where this file is going to be harnessed once I'm finished. So I'm giving it its home first. Then when I select next, I'm now going to go through and specify the type of document that I want. So instead of it just being a regular document, remember I talked about the different document types that we can create. You can see there are several different types of documents in here. So there's agendas that we can go through and have an agenda template. You know, there's drawings, general documents, memos, any of that. I'm actually going to do a presentation. Now with the presentation, then there's going to be a listing of the different types of templates that I can use. There's a default presentation, and I've actually created a template for our webinars. So I can go through and select on that, and I'm going to create a document from there. And I'm going to call this new webinar PowerPoint. Once again, there's a location of it. Finish it. It's been created. Basically now it's saying, okay, new webinar PowerPoint has been downloaded. Do you want to open it? Yes, I do. So that file is now downloaded to my current directory, and there's my template. So now at this point, I can begin to go through and add this or edit this. So I'm going to say next topic. And then the date is next Wednesday. And then of course I can continue to go through and edit the information to go through and update this once I'm done. I can go into Windchill. No, it's going to be difficult. Don't know why it's being difficult. But for some reason, it's not showing Windchill. It's in there. Why is it not active? Oh, error generating attributes. There we go. That's why. There was a window behind it. So there was a pop-up that came up. But there's Windchill. So it's in there. Once again, I've manipulated this file. Now at this point, now if I do go back to my Windchill session and I refresh this, remember I created that document of the new PowerPoint, it's already in there. So I created that presentation, it created it inside of Windchill, and then it downloaded a copy of that for me. So I'm currently working on that presentation. So now when I go in here and I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and check this in. The description is, next webinar. And then once again, I can send it. There it is. So now it's going in and uploading that file. Now, what I didn't show you initially was it's here currently. Once it's done, that file will now be removed from that downloads directory, and now it'll just be present in Windchill and of course in my recycling bin. So give me just a few more moments. All right. And now that file is uploaded. If I once again refresh this, we will now see that this presentation is now at 1.2. And if I go back to here, you can see that document is now removed from my downloaded location, but now it is in my recycling bin. So we don't go to recycling bins to retrieve data. We just go back into our Windchill session to now retrieve that data. So inside of here, once again, we can go through and begin to manipulate. So as you can see, I pulled up PowerPoint, there's Windchill, pulled up Word, there's Windchill. I can do the same thing for Excel. So all these different files I can go through and create from, or manipulate, sorry, from inside of those Office products. Now, that template that I created can also go in and be manipulated as well. So we can go through and add additional templates to our database as well. So inside of this particular product, we have templates, and we simply go through and create additional templates. So I went in and created an additional presentation template, which is once again directly for PowerPoint. So if you want to go through and create your own type of template, once again, because you have that standard information, we can do that. So for me, I have another document that I want to go through and create. So I can come over and create another template, and this will be for our health checks. So I'm going to define it as an actual document, or once again, if it was something else, I can go through and categorize it as that. But this will be just our regular document. Once again, next. And then at this point, I'm going to simply tell it which file I want to go through and use as the template. I can drag and drop. I can go in and browse. Once again, on my desktop, there's my health check document. So that will now be the template for whenever we are working with a customer and we're doing our analysis of the Windchill environment, we will use that document as our starting point to fill in the information from there. There it is. It's now once again the Windchill health check document. If we want to name something different, we could, of course. And of course, it will be enabled because we're going to go through and use it. If there's anything else that we needed with that we were also filling out at that same point in time, we can go through and add it as an attachment. So maybe there's something else that was tagged along that we will go through and use, but we don't have any of that. So I'll just go ahead and finish that up. So now I have my health check document, or template, I should say. So now if I go back into my documents folder again, now of course I can create documents anywhere, but just to be more specific, I can even directly inside of here create a new document. And then for the document, there's that location and there's my health check template. So I can use that once again as my starting point for the actual document. And the same thing, go back into Word again, and I can go through and start a brand new file, from a template. So however I want to go through and do that. So there's my Windchill. So at any point in time, if I want to go through and do something brand new or whatever I want to do with that particular file. So start a new one, once again, from a template, and set the location of the document. And then once again, specify that I'm going to use that one. The name of that is going to be next, I should say new customer review. So this could be you. I could put your name in there instead of new customer. So, but once again, starting that, there's a health check, finish, now comes up. Now it's now downloaded. Do I want to open it? Yes, I do. There's the actual documentation itself. So we will go through and now manipulate this document to go through and update your information. So we'll go through and use that. And then once again, inside of here, once I refresh the screen, we then see the new customer review. So that document is now in there. It is currently checked out to me. If I decide I don't want to work on it anymore, I can come back in here, go into Windchill, and instead of checking it in, I can undo my checkout. So if you undo it, of course, you're going to lose everything. Yes, I want to undo it. And there it is. So it's still open, but I just don't have control of it anymore. I can go ahead and close out the document. Do I want to update? Nope. Now at that point, it's there. Refresh once again. The document is still inside the database, so it can still be edited. I just don't have control of it at that point anymore. So anybody else can now check it out, make changes to it, however they want to. So managing your documents inside of Windchill can be very easy. It's seamless. I know I've had a few little hiccups as far as Windows popping behind, but it's really no different than how you would create any other type of document. You want to start from something else, use a template. Do a save as on it. You still have that information, but now inside of the database, when I go to this document here, not only do I have this current version of the file, but when I go to the history, I have all 3 versions of the file. So if I need to come back in here and see what these older versions were, I can go back into those. And of course, by going in and adding comments when I'm doing a check-in, it makes it even easier for me to go through and know what was done in each of those documents. So I can always have that information. Once again, check it in. I can still do my revising of it. It does, of course, have an assigned life cycle. So with that life cycle, I can go through and promote it as necessary so it can follow the product this is associated with. So when I go through and update the component or the assembly that it's referencing, I can go through and add this as well. And using WT parts, I can easily associate this document to a WT part. So all the Windchill functionality is still feasible for everything because we're just adding it to WT part. So now the WT part references the CAD file, it references the document file, and all that information is now related. So when I look at the WT part file, not only do I see the CAD file as a reference, I also see the document as a reference. So I can still go through and manipulate those with inside of Windchill, but once again, using Microsoft Office to go through and actually manipulate those. And once again, direct integration with Microsoft tools. So I can just open it up and open up a file directly from the database. There's your renaming, there's your updating, checking in, checking out, revising it, promoting it, doing a set state if you have the ability to do the set state on those objects. All of that right here inside of Windchill, or I'm sorry, inside of Office through Windchill. So all the functions are right here for you to go through and use to go through and manipulate any of your data. All right, so at that point, I will go ahead and open back up my previous PowerPoint, which should be right here. I think that's it. Yep. And there's the demo. At this point, are there any questions? Now, I do see there are a couple of questions inside of there. Can you set a default so that all files are deleted on the PC after checking in? That may be a preference that can be set. I have not looked into that, but there may be a preference that is automatically selected when you're going in and checking in the files. So yeah, we'll have to review and look and see if that's a preference that can be set. Can you set a default so that the user doesn't have a choice? So on check-in, the file is all, oh yeah, that's the one. Once again, we have to verify that. Will this work with Intralink? Is all the phone? I don't know if the Intralink version of that. I'll have to look and see. Well, you can check. I think we'll both have to check because desktop integration isn't automatically there. But I'll have to check with Intralink. I'm not 100% sure whether or not Intralink is compatible with desktop integration. But that will be something that I can look into and get back with you on that one. Like I said, I just have to verify that. And then it's all the functionality demonstrated, including on all versions of Windchill. That's kind of the same question that was just asked. I think, like I said, if it's available in Intralink, then it'll be available from Intralink up, because Intralink kind of is the scaled down version of it. But yeah, if it's available in Intralink, then it'll be available for everything above Intralink. So once again, it's just a matter of verifying that. And that'll be something that I'll do. And once again, get back with you on that one. All right. Any additional questions on any of that? Is there a? I don't think there's a. The question is there a link between Windchill and SharePoint? I am not aware of a link between Windchill and SharePoint. When I did the installation and the drop down was inside of there, those are the applications that currently are supported for desktop integration, and SharePoint currently is not one of those. I can look and see. I haven't heard anything in the newer versions of Windchill, whether or not they've expanded that capability to additional Microsoft products. But as of right now, I am not aware of a connection between Windchill and SharePoint. Uh, any additional questions on any of these or any of this? All right. Once again, if you want to get in touch with me, definitely contact me. My email address, mwimberly at boundarysys.com. Also, sales directly related questions, sales at boundarysys.com. Visit our website, boundarysys.com. And then, of course, our YouTube channel to go through and see this webinar. It'll probably be up by the end of the week, and any other webinars that we've had over the last several years. There's a lot of information inside of there. If you have any questions on any of that, if you want additional demonstration, additional information, additional questions that you have, feel free to reach out to us and we'll definitely get you the information that you need. So once again, I want to say thank you for your attendance and have a great remainder of the day. Bye.